Unpacking is a game where you unpack things. A shocking revelation, I'm sure. It's one of the simplest games I've ever played. You click the box, you drag the thing into the room, you click the box again. Once you've emptied every box, it tells you if anything is in the wrong place, like you put a pencil in the bathroom or something. It also has one of the most interesting stories in any game I've ever played. On the surface, it seems like there's not that much to talk about, really. I mean, the art's nice, the music is pleasant, the Foley is just... oh my, 14,000 different Foley files, jeez oh. But a story? How could there be a story in a game like this? It's been a few years since I played Unpacking, but it's a game that sticks with you. It's a relaxing game, that's what most people will tell you about it. But more than that, it's a masterclass in storytelling in the interactive medium. Without dialogue, without faces even, it tells the story of one woman's life over 2 decades in more detail than a book could even get into, and it does so using a method that only video games could achieve. It's a boundary-pushing title that expanded my vision of what video games could even be. And it's a game about unpacking boxes, one of the most tedious things you can do in real life. How? Well, by being very good, that's how. So why don't you join me as we unpack a story? Unpacking tells its story by having every single element of the game geared towards telling that story, even the ones you don't normally think about. But the most fundamental part is the setup itself. It's a game about unpacking boxes, and specifically it's a game about unpacking boxes to move into a new home. In real life this is a tedious process, but it's also a signifier of a turning point in life, a key moment that signifies a new phase. Every level of unpacking is a year, a new home, starting in 1997 and a child's bedroom. The game is an investigation, starting here with the most basic question: who are you? Given all the pink and love hearts, it's a safe bet that you're probably a girl. But beyond that, what do you do? What do you enjoy? Every object that you pull out is a clue. There is a football and a football trophy, so clearly you're into football, and good at it too. There's a large amount of stuffed animals, so combined with the diary under lock and key and the school pack, you're probably not that old, maybe 12 or 13. There's lots of art supplies, lots of books, a collection of action figures, and this delightful painting? Drawing? Of a horse. With every item, you're not just cleaning up, unpacking boxes, you're learning, your understanding of who this person is grows. That's the foundation of the game, and it is a surprisingly versatile system for storytelling. Stuff can tell you a lot about a person, more so than maybe they can even tell you about themselves. The basic concept of this is true of almost every video game. It's called environmental storytelling. The use of stuff to suggest a story without any specific dialogue or attention drawn to it. Bethesda games like Skyrim and Fallout are famous for it, where you'll enter a room and see skeletons laid out, showing a little tableau of how they met their ends. It's not a necessary detail, but it can add to the mood and atmosphere of a larger story and game world. Unpacking is different. Unpacking is the only game I've ever played where environmental storytelling is the only kind of storytelling going on. The stuff and the room are the only window you have into the story, taking what's commonly considered a secondary concern in games and making it the primary focus. 1997 is just the beginning, just the tutorial. As the years go on, the investigation grows more complex. 2004, we've expanded. We've got a bedroom, a bathroom, and a small kitchen. Student accommodation. The game never says that, but it's been 7 years since that childhood room. We've grown up, and a bedroom with an attached kitchen only makes sense as student accommodation, so that's where we must be. We've got lots of new stuff, some obvious, like kitchen and bathroom supplies, toothbrushes and plates and the like, but some stuff from before as well. That football's still kicking around, and of course, some of the plushies made the trip. More grown up, but not all the way yet, obviously. The true talent of the game is using its limited framework to not only relay facts, this person draws, this person has a computer, but to relay emotions as well. Here in the early levels, that emotion is excitement and curiosity, the same emotions you have when you move into a new house. It can be tedious, sure, but there's also a level of excitement there as well. When we get to 2010 though, things change. It's a modern, trendy apartment and it's already full of someone else's stuff. We're moving in with someone, a guy clearly, and he's not right for us. How can you tell? Well, it's the little things, the details in the environment that make it clear, that even to some extent let you know that this guy is kind of an asshole. 2010 is the most frustrating level, by Unpacking standards anyway, because there's just not enough space for all your stuff. It involves a lot of shuffling around to just try and squeeze your things in, and when you finally manage it, everything looks out of place. Our protagonist has a very homey, cozy sense of fashion and stuff. Lots of bold colours, lots of trinkets. For example, they have a growing collection of knickknacks from each country that they visit. Here in 2010, we've got a red London bus, a model of the Eiffel Tower, and a leaning tower of Pisa. Boyfriend guy is ultra modern, lots of black and grey, and the two aesthetics do not match at all. Even the cutlery looks wrong next to each other. He's the kind of guy who has his workout weights in the living room as a decorative piece next to his record player. In 2010, this is not a man you want to settle down with. He's clearly wealthy, much more so than us. His apartment is much nicer than any place we've moved in so far. But he's not right for us. Not just because our stuff doesn't match, but because he clearly didn't even think to clear enough space for our things. We're moving into his apartment. We're not moving in together. The most telling detail of all is your degree, neatly framed up, clearly something that we're very proud of. But there's no space for it on any of the walls. In fact, the only place in the apartment to put it is tucked underneath the wardrobe shelves, out of mind and out of sight. Without any traditional storytelling, the game has used the environment to not only provoke the emotion of frustration, but the extremely specific emotion of, girl, he's not right for you. And when next year you're shamefully moving back into your childhood bedroom, it feels like the inevitable way things were going to end. The only other element of the game is the soundtrack, which of course works to convey emotion in a much more direct way. For this level, it's a slower, almost jazzy type beat, much lower energy than any track before. It's not a track of love, it's a track of infatuation. I mean, that's literally what it's called. But along with the out-of-world, non-diegetic music, we also have a radio, and each level plays a different track, a taste of the kind of music our protagonist is listening to. And here, back in the bedroom, it's a breakup song. I mean, it doesn't have words, but you can tell, right? It's breakup song vibes. Music is like the apartment. Some notes and melodies convey emotion in a way that's just instinctive. You don't need to know the words to know that this is a breakup song. You just know. I think the default impulse for a game like this would be to have every level be a different protagonist. Every level be a different mystery to uncover. Surely players will get bored of unpacking the same things over and over again. I would have been dead wrong. You don't get bored of seeing the same things. Instead, the repetition starts to become comforting. A place doesn't feel like home until you've unpacked all the same bits and bobs and trinkets. Some things get replaced, technology improves, you get a better PC, you upgrade your microwave, you switch from a GameCube to a Wii. But the things that stay, those are the things you know are truly important. Every object you unpack contributes to the story, some in a small, self-contained way, like the growing collection of varied chicks, some in a larger way, like the introduction of a cane and the lack of any more footballs. That relationship may have been a failure, but you did inherit his taste in pretentious homebrew coffee. If each level was independent, then objects couldn't inherit meaning like that. A French press is just a French press if you don't know its history. Time is what gives these household objects meaning and value. In 2015, even the boxes themselves are contributing to the storytelling, because they're not your boxes. Your boxes are brown. These boxes are white. Someone else is moving in with you, and this time you're unpacking their stuff. But the dynamic is totally different from before, because they've also brought furniture, their own shelves and storage space, that rather than crowd the room, make it feel complete. Spending so long with our protagonist's stuff gives every one of this new person's things a lot of inherent meaning. She's got her own collection, these ornate stones, and a lot of merchandise for a trashy vampire show called Anti-Hero. She's got a lot of plants, at least one or two for every room, but they don't ruin the place. They make it better. She certainly has different tastes to us, but it's not completely incompatible. They pair well. 2018 is the final level, but it's also the biggest and most involved by a huge margin. It's a home, the final home, the one to settle down in. Both boxes are in use, but there's no separation between things. It's our stuff. It's packed together. 2 people and 20 years. It's a lot of things to unpack. But this is where they're going to be staying for a long time, especially if the baby's room is anything to go by. The French press is here. There's a shelf in the foyer for the travel knickknacks. The art supplies that have been growing throughout the years have blossomed into a career. You're a children's book author, a successful one too by the looks of this poster. There's even a painting of a horse, a real one this time. Old Faithful, the stuffed pig who's been with you every step of the journey, he's made the trip too, but he's not in your room this time. This time he's being passed on to the next generation. And would you look at that, it's a football. A video game is the only medium where a story could be told like this. I mean, you could try and make it a movie, but I think 2 hours of someone silently unpacking boxes isn't going to be a smash success. When we talk about boundary-pushing titles, we normally think of the big games. Breath of the Wild, Red Dead Redemption 2, Mass Effect, Half-Life. Unpacking was never going to have that kind of success. By its very nature, it's not a game that will appeal to everyone. But it is a boundary-pushing title that pushes the interactive medium to its full potential, and does things that only video games can do. Unpacking is a game where you unpack boxes, but it's also so much more than that. It's about life, it's about human nature, it's about the things we carry with us and how they define us, make us who we are, and it's about what makes a house a home. When you put it like that, it's a lot to unpack. Thank you for watching, and a very special thank you to my wonderful patrons for your continued support. If you'd like to see your name up here or get access to Patreon exclusive videos, then you can find that link in the description below, or wait for the special Patreon subscribe cube to appear next to me. Your support would be much appreciated, as well as a like, a comment, a share and subscribe. If you're looking for more indie game things, then I recommend checking out this video about Citizen Sleeper, another fantastic indie game that you should definitely go and play. Or if you're looking for something a bit longer, then why not check out this playlist of long-form game critiques.